Hello, wealthy, successful, money-making traders. This is your trader's friend. Thank you for spending time with me. Today I want to talk to you about the market and something that I've seen in the last two economic reports. I want to remind you that the market, like anything else, is naturally evolving and becoming more sophisticated. They are finding new ways for the trick, trap, and kill. Let's take a look at yesterday's price action. Now this is the Euro JPY on the 5-minute time frame, and before the economic report you can see that the market was headed in a bearish fashion, and then it began to accelerate to the downside before creating this trick. There is the trap, and you can see the kill. Now this is the thing that was unusual for me. I saw that the market was beginning to make lower highs, which for me was no big deal because I expected the market to do that and then have a little retracement and then continue to bounce and go to the long side. So I held about 3 or 4 positions yesterday. I put a stop loss about 10 pips above my entry point. So you can imagine my surprise when the market came back to not only make lower highs, but then it broke this 10 SMA strongly, and it also closed the strength of this candle. So I was hot yesterday. So I had to scramble to take all of my money off the table before price hit my stop loss, which if I'd stayed in the market, it would have hit my stop, as you can see. Now, when this was making lower highs, it was no big deal really, because I'd also had 2 other instances where price was making lower highs. So the setup for me yesterday was really good. So 3 times in the market I was making lower highs. The thing that was different is that price came back to both re-break this 10 SMA and to also take out the low of this candle. It did not happen here. We came back to kind of retest. In this instant anyway, we retested near support and we came close to it here, but we didn't take it out here. We actually took out the low of that candle. So I noticed that yesterday, and I noticed it this morning as well. That's why I'm making this video, because price went up beautifully. And the good thing about this morning is I had take profits on about 4 or 5 trades to the upside. So I closed with over 100 pips on each of those. So I was really happy with that. But you can see that the market went straight up and it turned right back around to come back and take all of that away. And I did not show you that on yesterday. If you had your stop loss below the low of this candle yesterday in the market, guess what? If you stayed in, it eventually came back to take you out as well. Now this is today's price action. Price shot up beautifully, and then you began to, first of all, you got this rejection from the top side, first flagship candle. Then you got a second rejection, and you got a lower close confirmation. Guys, it's so important to keep the basics in the market in your playbook. No matter which strategies you learn, no matter what new things, knowing how to read price is going to be the most important thing that you will do and know as a trader. You had more than 50 pips in this candle. Beautiful shoot up to the upside, no follow through. As a matter of fact, you got rejection on the next 2 candles. Price came to close below the low of this candle, and then this was the telltale sign. Price came back to reclose all of that strength, and that actually went up almost 70 pips just straight up to from the bottom of this to the top. Price came back to not only re-break and close the 10 SMA, it also came back to close below the strength of this candle. Guys, that was the time to exit. I want to remind you to trade a good plan with consistent discipline. There is no way to predict the market. You have to enter when your rules show that you have an advantage, and you exit when you no longer have that advantage. Now here you can see the same thing as yesterday. Price was beginning to move in a bearish fashion before the economic report. The strong acceleration to the downside. There is the trick. There is the trap. You can see how price came back to just clobber the previous candle. So if you're on the downside of this trade, the time to definitely have gotten out was with this huge bullish engulfing pattern that not only creamed the 10 SMA, it also came to close above that 200 period SMA as well. So that was the time to get out and follow that market strength, because you can see from the top to the bottom, price went straight up over 200 pips. But then it came back. If you had your stop loss below the low of this candle, look, it came right back to take that out. Guys, you must trade a good rule with consistent discipline. Now, I'm bringing you this because I wanted to explain this. I know it kind of looks strange on my chart, but this is the price action during the Asian session. This was the highs and the lows. I guess I can bring that in a little bit better. It just looks different when it's bigger. But this was the highs last night during the Asian session into the New York, not the New York session, I'm sorry, Asian session into the European session. So there was the swing high, the swing low, and this was the price range during the European session before we got into the New York session. And well, we're still in the European session, but the European session up until we got into the economic report. So that's what this is. I just wanted to explain this strange looking stuff that was in my chart. But guys, I just want to remind you that you can absolutely do this. You can be successful at Forex. Trade a good plan with consistent discipline. Never let them trap you, and be vicious about controlling your wealth. You can absolutely do this. You can be successful at Forex. Have a terrific, wonderful, pip-filled trading week.